All right, so a little bit of kind of good news, but not really. Remember how I was talking about this new change at YouTube? You know, these automatically getting flagged, these certain videos. So let me show you this. This one is now completely fine. It's monetized. This is the one that I was doing on my way home, which now took, that was what, Thursday on my way home. So it went live on Friday, I think, right? August 18th. Yeah, so Friday it went live. You know, 15,000 views later, now it's finally monetized. You know, fully monetized. But the good news is when I did hit request review, they reviewed it and found, yeah, you know, there's nothing wrong with this. Let's, you know, and I did say SHIT a couple times, I think, in that video when I was talking about the coins. And it's still been approved. So I had someone at my house today, believe it or not, was a subscriber slash new friend of mine now. Him and his wife, great people. Had a great time with them today. I was talking a little bit about this, and I said, you know, coming from a software, you know, and technically hardware and software background, I said, you know, that I don't know necessarily that this was YouTube, you know, picking certain people to, you know, to nail. I said they just implemented this change. It's an algorithm for the most part, and for whatever reason it flagged my stuff. I said they're going to lose out on all the ad revenue when that thing's on. They're losing out. So am I. So is that next YouTuber. So is the next YouTuber, and so is YouTube, because their system has flagged, you know, too many videos as not being advertiser friendly, when in fact they are. So I had probably around 5 or 6 on this page alone, and I'm going to show it to you again. You can see the one, and this is the next one I did when I was telling you guys about rivets and property I just jumped into. It's the only one that hasn't been reviewed yet, and I, of course, submitted it as soon as I could. But all the other ones, minus this one, is fine now. So I had like 5, and I don't even know if I should be including this property because that's kind of a new one. But this one, crossing the line into, you know, totalitarian state, well, as they say, hot political topics or certain things, you start talking about totalitarian, you know, maybe that's why it was flagged and stayed that way. Whatever. So what I'm suggesting, like I did last time with YouTube when they did the whole advertiser crap on, or the advertisers, not them, but the advertisers crapped on everybody. We're pulling out of YouTube, and it destroyed massively overnight some channels. You know, 90% drop in revenue, things like that. Mine dropped big too at that time. But I said, you know, they're going to put that ad in front of your face again. They can't not do that. And it came back. My revenue's been pretty good lately, to be honest with you, for these ads. But this could potentially hurt a little bit, these little orange or yellow things. However, I did notice some of y'all saying, hey, I saw ads on this video, even though it was one of the yellow ones, those yellow monetized sign, which, as it says, not suitable for all advertisers, meaning some advertisers may not care and their ad may show up. Anyways, I just want to make that clear in case you guys are listening to other YouTube channels and they're talking about this and they're not really sure what's happening and that kind of thing. This information may help them, okay? So let's talk about Steve Bannon being, you're fired. This is the guy that was like the only person left who we would say, quote unquote, is a good guy. And Trump just let him go. You know, things ain't looking so good. Got this little eclipse coming up, September right around the corner. Things ain't looking so good. This was the only good guy left, and now it's nothing but Goldman Sachs surrounding the president. This is not quite good, but let's see what Mike Krieger from the Liberty Blitzkrieg blog, which is being posted by Zero Hedge, has to say about this. Spoiler alert, I already agree. The firing of Steve Bannon is, in my opinion, the most significant event to happen during the Trump administration thus far. Moreover, it will have massive reverberations across the U.S. political spectrum for years and years to come. I wasn't planning on writing today, but this news is so incredibly significant, I find myself with little choice. And I have to ask, coincidence? All this crap coming up in September we've been waiting for? Well, I mean, maybe in this case. But again, he was the only good guy left. He was the only good guy. And now he got let go by Mr. Trump, President Trump. And notice the picture in the background of that they put. Goldman Sachs. As I've been covering from day one, when he was picking his guys, old Jay Snip, hey, you know, I wanted Trump to win. Believe me, I did not want Hillary. But, you know, that guy, so-and-so, he's the treasury. Hey, that guy, he picked him. Mr. Cohen, he's that Goldman. Guys, it's the same old. And I've always said this for so many years now. It never has mattered who the king was, even in past times. It was always the king's advisors. And if the king's advisors wanted to tell the king a lie, the king's advisors did so, knowing how the king's going to act. Sire, so-and-so from, you know, Castle Grayskull has declared war upon us. What? Get the troops ready. It was a complete lie, right? It's the advisors. That's who runs the show. And the advisors are Goldman Sachs, like they've always been. So he says, taking a step back, part of the reason I was immediately able to see through the Trump con was due to my upbringing in New York City. The guy was constantly in the news my entire life, so I had a pretty decent understanding of where he was really coming from and what makes him tick. The mindset of your typical New York City-based billionaire real estate developer is filled with all sorts of perspectives and priorities, but thoughts of populism are not amongst them. I got to be honest, though, as I'm reading what he's saying. I mean, I agree with his, you'll see in a second, but I don't know that I could label Trump just like that. You see the massive backlash this man got before he was running, while he was running, and after he made it. How the left tried to stop this guy left and right. Literally left and right. And speaking of left and right, both the left and the right tried to stop this guy. The GOP, the Dems, everybody. And he's still there, trying to get stuff done. Oh, no repeal and replace. Nope, no tax reform. Nope, can't get anything done. And I'm just going to give you a hint about this Webbot report that's coming out in the near future. It may contain this, but it might not. Which is why I'm not going to be very clear here. October 11th time frame, Donald Trump not looking real good, according to the data from the Webbot report. I can only hope it's a miss, but it ain't looking good. Cross those fingers, pray, do whatever you want to do, and hope that it's nothing but chat on the internet and nothing happens. The man's still the president. He still continues to try and fix things. I will tell you that much. Because I don't know how much Cliff High is going to put into that report about what I just said. Trump used populism to get elected, and then as soon as he won, immediately appointed some of the most destructive oligarchs imaginable to run his administration. I strongly agree with that statement. See what I was just saying? He's so right, which is why immediately when I saw him, oh, Steven Mnuchin, you're picking him? What the? No, dude, it's Goldman Sachs. Stop. Mr. Cohen, him too? That's another Goldman Sachs. What is this guy doing? And then on the other side, he's doing some good things. Like, what the hell? This doesn't make sense. And then he hires the oil cartel guy. Remember, you know, Rex Tillerson or whatever? Hires the oil cartel. What was it? Exxon, CEO of Exxon he was? I think it was Exxon. And of course, I can't be biased here, guys. That's why I covered it. Hey, not really liking this, but Realist News can't be, you know, pretend here. Realist News is the real deal. I've got to tell you what it is. And now he's let go of Bannon. The reason I warned about this incessantly at the time is because I learned a lesson from the Obama administration. People equals policy, which is why I'm telling you, it's the advisors of long ago, same time, kings and queens, the advisors advising the king. That's who's in charge. People equals policy, and the people Trump was elevating were almost unanimously awful. Irrespective of what you think of Bannon, him being out means Wall Street and the military-industrial complex is now 100% in control of the Trump administration. Prepare for an escalation of imperial war around the world as an expansion of brutal oligarchy. Now this is his words, Mr. Blitzkrieg, Michael, here on the Blitzkrieg blog. But again, I'm having a hard time arguing with what he's saying right now. Other than the first part, which is minor, very minor, to be honest with you. he's making valid points. He hired these people, and you and I are both sitting here, hey, whoa, what the? Goldman Sachs, that's the best you got, huh? The best you could do, huh? No kidding. Okay. All right. Oh, the oil cartel guy. Oh, no. Really? Best you could do. Now you're letting go of Bannon, which to me also rings bell. Oh, we got the solar eclipse coming up and all this crazy interesting stuff coming up in September right around the corner. You know, that date, 23rd and whatnot. Maybe Trump knows I'm about to have to handle some business across the world like he's saying right here, this guy. And I can't have Steve Bannon begging me not to. I can't have him doing this. I'm going to have to go after Korea. I'm going to have to do this. I'm going to have to do that. And Steve Bannon's the only sane person trying to stop me, and I don't want to deal with him yapping in my ear. Mr. Bannon, you're fired. Now, that's 100% Jason Forrest's opinion, how that went. But that's the last guy you should have gotten rid of on your team, okay, if I'm to be honest here. The removal of Bannon is the end of even a facade of populism. This is now the Goldman Sachs presidency, with a thin-skinned, unthinking authoritarian as a figurehead. Meanwhile, guess who's still there in addition to the Goldman executives? Weed-obsessed, civil asset forfeiture supporting Jefferson Sessions. The Trump administration just became 10 times more dangerous than it was before. With the coup successful, Trump no longer needs to be impeached. And he tweets, the media took Donald Trump, cut off his balls, and handed them to Goldman Sachs. Mission accomplished. That was his tweet. Michael Krieger. Not Blitzkrieg. Blitzkrieg is the blog. Michael Krieger. Here's another prediction. Watch the corporate media start to lay off Trump a bit more going forward, rather than hysterically demonize him for every little thing. Corporate media will increasingly give him more of the benefit of the doubt. After all, a presidency run by Goldman Sachs and generals is exactly what they like. Trump finally came out of the closet as the anti-populist oligarch he is, and results won't be pretty. Again, I don't know if I would go to that length. The oligarch he is. But hey, maybe this guy's right. Maybe he's right. And if he is, and I start to see that he is, I'm going to have to tell you something that I don't want to ever have to tell you. Guys, remember when I talked about Bitcoin in early 2013? I said, stay away from that turd. And then I started looking into it, doing the research, and said, you know what, guys, sorry about that. I made a mistake. We need to really look into Bitcoin. I'm going to go ahead and check this out. I don't want to have to come out here and say, guys, we all wanted Trump. He tried real hard, and then all of a sudden he got flip-flopped, and now he's doing things that are absolutely insane. Right? I don't want to have to come out here and do that video, to be honest with you. It's going to be painful and hurtful. But if I got to do it, I will. I'm hoping we're not going down this path. But again, I've got history. The gentleman at my house today, we were just talking about some of this stuff. History repeating, the cycles of government, which is why the democracy only lasts around 200 years typically. A democracy type of government, only lasts approximately, plus or minus a little bit, 200 years. Why is that? Why wouldn't such a wonderful type of government last longer? Because people find out it's not quite as wonderful as they thought, and politicians are paid off, and the people realize they can't vote them out, so they have to physically remove them, and the only way to physically remove some of these people, as at least history shows us, is through violence. And I'm going to say something that I've always said. This is the reason why I do these videos for you guys. I've been telling you to get into precious metals, been telling you to get into these Bitcoins and cryptos, so that you can earn enough money, hopefully, right? So that you can, when crap gets bad, if it goes down this path, you may not have to be out there in the protests and the riots and this and that. Man, I was able to get enough money. I bought a nice sized food storage, last me a year. Man, I'm not going out there. It's like Venezuela over in my part of town. I'm not going over there now. No way. Man, the police don't even come anymore, right? I don't want to hear stories like that in this country. But you're going to, I have a feeling. And I'll say, like what I used to say, Joe, you going to join the revolution? No, I'm not. I'm going to be sitting here reporting you from the sideline over here at the Realist News Studio. Telling everybody all these years, I told you this crap was coming. Been trying to warn you, family and friends. Nobody wanted to listen. Now you're pissed off. Now you lost your job. Now you don't have the things you thought you had. And now you want to stand up and protest. And you want me to come because I'm so knowledgeable. F off. What? Matter of fact, are you on Facebook still? Yes. Okay. Let me create an account real quick because I don't have one. I'll join you. I got something to say on Facebook. A little flashback from like 2008 and 9. What were you asking me again to come join you guys at this protest? Why don't you guys be a little more positive? Why don't you think happy thoughts? Stop posting such negativity. Have a nice day. Piss off. I'm going back to the Realist News Studio, also known as the Crypto Cave. That's how that's going to go. So anyways, it says corporate media got the scalp they wanted, so the hysterical criticisms of him will die down. This is not to say I think the media will become pro-Trump. It just means the obsessive and aggressive propaganda will be dialed back considerably. Trump is now in line, and he will be rewarded by the establishment for that. He will learn that the more he gets with the program, the easier his life will be, and the more secure his power. He is merely being conditioned. And my forecast is that Trump will gladly embrace the worst parts of the establishment going forward. Why is that? Because Trump, his true worldview fits in way more with Goldman Sachs and the military-industrial complex than with the populism, or than with populism. It always has. The whole thing was just an act to get elected. Firing Bannon is just Trump coming home to who he always was, a ruthless oligarch. Again, if he was a ruthless oligarch, they would have taken, the media would have taken this man, put him on a pedestal, said, Clinton, we know we promised you the next time would be yours. We know. And we gave Obama 2 runs. We know. But we got to get this guy in. We promised, we super promised this time in 2022. Or let's see, 2022. 2020. Thinking of some of the congressional elections. 2020, you'll have your shot. We promise you this time. We got to get our guy in. He's going to do wonders for us all. Right? So that's how that would have went. That is not how it went. And the media has been trying to destroy this man. But as he's saying, now that he's in line, maybe we'll see the media finally back off. By the way, where'd the Russia story go? Where's the Russian leaks, or Russian, he met with Russians, classified info? Where did that go? Where did it go? Gone. Like Zika, like the measles, like all the other fake crap that comes out and scares everyone to go get a vaccine. They go away. There was never any issue. End of story. And then they hype up their media. We're a little low on funds over here in the multi-billion-dollar pharmaceutical industrial complex. We need to push out some vaccines. Run with the fake. What are we going to push this time? You guys want to do chickenpox? Or do you want to go measles again? Measles didn't do that. Let's do chickenpox. Now we can't do chickenpox. We already are giving the kids 3 shots these days. That's already 3. We used to give them 1. We can't do chickenpox. All right, what else do you want to do? The hell with it. Go back to measles. Let's really pump it this time. Get those people in here to inject them in the arm, scare them to death. What we do is the media and the industrial complex, all of them. Military, pharmaceutical, food, everything. All these industrial complexes, if you will. And it's all part of the same umbrella. So, yeah, interesting times to be alive, I'd say. And I can't wait to see what happens later this year with the September 23rd, date we keep seeing in the movies and stuff. And fingers crossed that Donald Trump stays president and everything's good with him. And he actually keeps trying to do the good, things that he's doing. But again, I'm just not liking the fact that he let this guy go. Why did he do that? The only good guy you had left next to you. And I remember telling Bix, there's no chance that they're going to let this guy in office. It can't. There's no good guy. Stop with this good guy crap, Bix. I'm telling you, they're going to do it. He's going to make. And then Donald Trump made it. And then he got past the whole thing flip-flopping. Oh, we're going to flip-flop delegates. Oh, it didn't matter. He won anyways. And then Congress has to approve him. Senators, did you sign off? No, we didn't. Then you can't object. Sit down. He's going to be the president. Oh, okay. Damn, he made it. And I said, Bix, if he walks into that White House, even though I'm not going to wait 4 years for his whole term to make sure he makes it the whole time, Bix, I'm going to have you on the show. And just to say, look, everybody, Bix did say there's some good guys out there. I don't think there are. Not the top. Maybe a couple of rungs below, but not at the top. But if that was the case, how the hell did Trump get in there, right? So I said, Bix, maybe you're right here. Maybe you are right. And maybe there are actually some good guys. Now it's not looking like that's the case. All of a sudden. This is not looking good, guys. So, whatever. Take care.